Welcome to Practical Talk Time. I'm your host, Usha Kumar. I have with me here Nancy Guberti. She is a biomedical nutritionist, and she's here to talk about dieting the proper way and dieting the natural way. So please join me in welcoming Nancy. Nancy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Last week we discussed food labeling and all of the foods that we should be avoiding, the ones with GMO, the ones with pesticides and hormones. So today we're going to talk about how to diet or cleanse, really, how to detox your body, right?
Exactly.
And without going into any of the extreme dieting things that you might read in a magazine or something, where the writers are not real practitioners of this science or this branch of healthcare, but they are just writers, right?
Exactly.
So they have to really get good advice from someone who is practicing, like yourself.
Right, and not one of these celebrity fad type of detoxifications.
Yeah.
So,
like the cabbage diet
exactly.
or the all juicing diet.
And the Master Cleanse diet, which is like, maple syrup and lemon and cayenne pepper, and drink that for 10 days. So
we are not going to do all of those.
No.
So what's happening? What are we going to check in our bodies, really?
So for detoxification, we want to be gentle because we're not really sure how our detoxification pathways are functioning anyway.
How do we know whether we need detox at all?
Well, if we're eating a very healthy organic diet and we're drinking water and we're balancing our diets with in the right pH and it's not acidic and we're feeling really energetic, and our skin and our hair look very healthy and we don't have any complaints, then one probably has such a clean regimen in the food and in their environment that they may not need to detox. But if we are stressed and we are not eating a very healthy regimen and our environment is not healthy, so we're using toxic products to clean our house or at work.
Or eating processed food
Eating
with preservatives.
processed foods, very stressed out, and have some health ailments. It's great to do a detox, especially at springtime, to jumpstart into a very healthy eating regimen and get ready. So many people get ready for what we call bathing suit protocol, and they want to lose some pounds that they may have gained over the winter. So then this is a great time to do detoxification.
Can a person just gain weight with calories or with one of these other problems, toxic food?
Exactly. So they can gain weight because they have too much toxicity in them from the food, or they're just eating too much. So it's portion control.
What toxicity causes someone to get fat?
So if one is having a lot of, so people were like, oh, I'll go on a gluten-free diet. But then they don't lose weight because they're having gluten-free products that are made from corn. We have to remember that, corn is fed to animals to fatten them up. So that might not necessarily be the best food because it is a carbohydrate and it's going to turn into sugar. So we really have to look at a low carb and look at healthy lean protein and look at our sugar to eat healthy. But
someone who's burning a lot of energy, they need to take carbs for the energy. But if you're not doing that much physical work and you're not being that active, then you need to cut down on the carbs, right?
Right. So even if we are very active and you're a track star and you're running 8 miles a day, you want to pick the healthier carbohydrates. Okay. You want to make sure they're organic. Otherwise, we're just
whole grain.
And if one could tolerate that, it would be whole grain, so it has all of the minerals and the nutrients. But organic, because we don't want that individual, just because they're active, to put toxins in them as well. But they will burn it up faster because their metabolism may be faster than someone who is not as active. So one way to actually detoxify is looking at what we're eating. So are we eating a balanced meal? Are we having breakfast? What is breakfast? Is it the typical American breakfast of bagels and waffles and pancakes, because that's really not doing anything for you. So I always tell my patients to ask themselves, before they eat something, say to themselves, what is this going to do for me? Is it going to give me energy? Is it going to nourish my skin, my hair, my nails? Or is it going to go to all my problem spots and make me tired? Because lots of people feel sluggish after they have eaten a very high carb, high sugar meal.
Oh, yes.
So you want to ask yourself, we need to have a relationship with our food, a healthy relationship with our food, the way we have it with our friends and our family and our coworkers. What are we getting from this? What's the two-way street? Oh, so I'm going to have this and it's going to give me energy.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's going to not build up my toxins. So that's one way. We have to have this healthy relationship with food. The second thing is we want to look at what we're eating on a daily basis and where we're going. Are we going to a fast food organization that has toxins and fats and high calories? So that's one whole way to start this detoxification. Diet is not the answer. This is a lifestyle change.
Yeah, I find that unlike a couple decades ago when a lot of working people packed their own lunches and took it to work, now that seems to have gone by the wayside, and most people just buy and order and food at their work, or they just go to a restaurant nearby.
Right.
And they find it easier than shopping, cooking, cleaning.
Right.
You know? They find it so easy. But then what do they have to look out in terms of food?
First, I would say it's a little preparation. You could spend one day on the weekend and prepare what you want to eat for at least the next 4 days and have it around. Some people will bring leftovers from the night before. Or if you like, you know, almonds, and you get almonds and mulberries and goji berries and pumpkin seeds and throw it all together in a big bag and take several bags, like have it, you know, Monday to Friday, you have a different bag. So that's your go-to when you're really hungry.
Yeah, you're snacking. Yeah,
right.
Food.
If you're eating out, so have a lot of clients in the corporate world and they have to do corporate dinners and they can't get around that. So I always say, well, look for foods that aren't breaded, you know, your grilled foods. Look for any vegetables that don't have butter on them. Ask, are they made in olive oil? Or if you're having a salad, ask for the dressing on the side. So, you know, just being a little bit, you know, educated and empower yourself when you're reading the menu and say, how is this prepared? And how can I have it healthier? And they're very accommodating nowadays because so many people have food allergies to either gluten or casein or butter or soy oil or corn oil. So you could really ask, and then you could even look local restaurants that offer a healthier menu.
I want to know, before we go into any kind of detoxifying regimen, shouldn't we check what's happening in our bodies in terms of, do we have anything at a toxic level in our body? How do we check that?
Right. So it's always great to know what's inside. And that's where I would recommend an individual to look for a functional medicine practitioner that can order specialized lab work. So, you know, there's several non-invasive tests that can check how your body's functioning, how it's detoxifying. Then there's other tests that could show the toxins that are in your body. And, you know, there's so many ways that one could do that, either through hair, through urine, through stool, through saliva. There's so many different variables. And then if one suspects a lot of food intolerances, there's a great, you know, food intolerance that checks over 96 foods, which is very helpful. So it takes the guesswork out. And then if one can't do that, then keep a food journal. Keep a notebook or write yourself an email every day of what you're eating, how you feel, does it affect your sleep, your mood, your energy level, your mental clarity. And then you can possibly find a link or a pattern. When we go to this restaurant, I have this headache afterwards. Well, then go inquire how they cook that meal, because then you might be able to trace it back. Maybe they're using monosodium glutamate that could cause headaches and stomach aches, and that's also toxic. You know, maybe they're using genetically modified, you know, these things add up.
So here again with the food, we have to make sure we are taking organic foods, foods without pesticides and preservatives and GMO material. So what kind of a regimen should someone go? I mean, like, if they want to lose weight and also get rid of some toxins. Where do these toxins gather in the body? Liver, or where do they collect?
Well, the organs, the filtering organs of the liver detoxification, that's responsible. But if we're so toxic to begin with, it's going to have it needs help. So if the liver is really overloaded with its process, then one can start to gain weight as well. The kidneys need to help to detoxify, but our skin is our largest organ for absorption and detoxification. We may see skin rashes. Those are the signs that, wow, perhaps we have gone overboard with the toxins in our diet and even our environment. Let's reduce it.
So can you suggest a few detox regimens that you've given to people?
Yes, so there's several, do-it-yourself regimens, protocols that you could put in place right away. I see many individuals that are dehydrated. They are not drinking enough water. They think they're having tea and coffee.
What are the symptoms?
They either are not regular with their bowel movements, their skin is very dry, they have headaches, unknown headaches at a certain time every day, they get very sluggish, they get vertigo, faint. This is this body giving a sign something's not right. So
just hydrating helps.
Hydrating is one of the first things I recommend to so many people because they're not hydrated. And I always say, well, how much water are you drinking on a daily basis?
And then how much is too much with hydrating?
Well, if we're hydrating too much, that's the other extreme, and then you could really be flushing out all the minerals and vitamins one needs. But if you're
tell us about which, where you should not go overboard and what is the ideal level.
So it all depends on one's body weight. It depends on one's activity as well. So if we're very physical, we're going to be perspiring a lot, and then we would need more. So on average, for the average person, if we look at, about 8 ounces, if we have 8-ounce cup of water 7 times a day, that would be nice. I have so many people that have perhaps 1 to 2, because then they're doing seltzer and they're doing coffee and tea,
milk and they juices,
and they feel, well, that's liquid, or they're doing other drinks that are not healthy whatsoever, and that's dehydrating them. So even when someone is out for a social drink, I always say, if you're having...
only a very small, petite person can take less, but then the average person needs to take about 7 to 8.
Exactly.
8-ounce glasses.
They should. And then if they're having teas or coffees or anything with caffeine, they really need, whenever they drink that, they need to drink the same amount of water, because that's dehydrating. If they're having alcoholic beverages, that's dehydrating. So
add more water when you're taking these.
Exactly. So that's one way we could start to flush out the body. And then the second thing that I really like is when you first wake up in the morning, get some apple cider vinegar. Start with a teaspoon. Put it into a glass of water, and then get an organic lemon. Squeeze the lemon with the apple cider vinegar and start your day with that glass.
I see.
So that will start to activate
How much of the lemon?
liver.
A whole lemon? Juice?
Nothing less than a half of a lemon.
Okay.
So some people love the taste
some
of
are
lemon.
big, so it depends on the size.
So a half to a full lemon with I would start with a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. So that's going to actually jumpstart
And drink it by
the
itself,
liver.
or do you add water to it?
No, you add a nice,
Dilute it with
I
some
would do
water.
it at least 5 ounces of water with that. Start that the first thing in the morning. So what is that going to do? It's going to set your pH balance. It's going to help the digestion process. It's going to help the liver detoxification. People have reported that it helps with sinuses, migraines, skin issues, and weight loss. So one could have that. And then another thing you can...
And how long should you continue that? Or
you could do that every day.
Oh, okay.
Because it's
make it like
beneficial. That's your
instead
routine.
of your first coffee in the morning. You need to get used to taking this, okay?
Exactly. So that would also help you detoxify. Drinking the water will help you detoxify. Adding lemon on your foods will help you detoxify. And that also helps with your pH balance. So, sprinkling the lemon, squeezing the lemon on some steamed broccoli or steamed kale, or, whatever meal you're having. Some people love to drink it throughout the day in their water, and that's fine.
I see.
So that's also going to help. You could also have, if you're into teas, you could have dandelion tea. Dandelion is great for liver detoxification.
Dandelion, is it the whole plant, the leaves and stem, or the roots?
Well, if you have a juicer, you could juice the whole thing, right? So,
And is any one particular variety better than the other?
no,
all
I think
dandelions are same?
it's a nice combination. So if you go and get organic dandelions, those are the green, bitter leaves, you could juice that. If you have a juicer, you could do dandelion, cilantro,
I thought
and
that
parsley.
dandelion itself might be toxic.
If you juice it, it's fine. It's the green leaves. And then they also come in tea bags. So that's great for the liver. So it's actually a detoxification. We could have.
So how much of it, I mean, if you take like a fresh plant, yank out a fresh plant, rinse it
Well,
in, with the entire root and plant, no?
I would go to the local health food store, or your grocery store, and they have the dandelion greens near the kale.
Okay.
That's the ones that I'm just
Okay.
talking about, and that's what's in the teas as well.
I see,
Because again, if one takes it from the lawn, is it
Yeah, whether you,
pesticide,
if you don't use
lawns?
pesticides, if you and your neighbors don't use pesticides.
Exactly, that's the
Okay.
problem. So you could have teas that will help. So
And
there's
you make tea out of the dried
they have
powdered plant.
right, and
Okay.
they offer it in tea bag form or loose teas
I see.
at the healthy grocery stores.
And what do you take to keep your liver, I mean, not the liver, kidneys clean?
So the kidneys, we could have several. There are teas from herbs like Portiaco is a great
What is
kidney
that again?
cleanser. Portiaco. It's
What is it?
It's an herb and it cleanses the liver. So that's really good. But also, if we do our greens and we add, if we have a juicer and if we do lemon and limes and cilantro, which pulls out heavy metals, and parsley actually helps with the puffiness that a lot of people have when they eat out and they have a lot of sodium intake.
Okay.
All of these are going to help with the filtering
Okay.
organs as well. And so we could get it through juice. We could get it through a salad that have this. We could get it through teas by drinking more water. Lots of people like to
How do you
drink
spell the Portiaco?
Paudarco.
Oh, okay.
And lots of people like to drink the lemon water warmed up. And you could do that as well.
Okay.
You know.
And you start all of this in your detox program?
I would, but I would
Okay.
go slow.
Okay.
So the first week, I would start to add more water.
Water,
And then
okay.
see the difference. You want to listen to your body. You want to see the clues. You want to see how it changes.
And then your vinegar and lemon
Then
juice.
the apple cider vinegar and the lemon add in the second week. Then the third week, add in these different
The
grains,
dandelion
the
teas
juicing,
and
the
these
teas.
juicing.
Add all of that in. So, over 4 weeks' time, you've tried all these different protocols. And it's when a person is really in tune with their body that they're empowered to be their own health advocate. And that's the goal.
So you don't need to go into any of those extreme dieting or
No.
extreme detox and cleansings.
Right. You want to avoid that. So through the years, I have seen individuals who have done that, and then it's backfired on them. So
Can you give us an example?
Yeah, so I had a woman who went on this cleanse for 2 weeks' time.
What kind of cleanse?
And she only drank this powder that was with lemon and maple syrup and some peppers. That's it. Not eating anything. So
With
really,
no carb, nothing, except the maple syrup.
That's it.
That's the sugar. Okay.
that was it. So that's all she had. And yes, she lost weight, but she, first of all, went through the symptoms of a flu because it was so severe. Then she was so fatigued. She had terrible migraines. She really couldn't work. And it was not a pleasant experience. And then when she stopped and then started eating, she gained it all back.
Nice.
Because it's not a lifestyle that you could follow. We want this to be a lifestyle one could follow, because then it's just not just short term. We want this to be long term. And then I had a male individual who had come in, and he did a juicing. for 28 days.
I see.
And he lost a lot of weight, but he was a weightlifter as well. And then he started to add proteins back slowly. He got a lot of terrible stomach cramps, and then he gained back in bulk. And his metabolism was changed since that moment.
And he couldn't lose that.
No.
At
So he
all.
wished he never did it. So
I see.
the extremes, we don't want them because they could be, they're too drastic and they could have really bad
And
side
that's
effects.
why people going on yo-yo dieting seem to never lose their weight, and they just get bigger day by day.
Yeah, that coupled with our
frustrating.
mindset. So, lots of people will say, oh, I have this party, or I have a bar mitzvah, or I have
I
some
know.
event, a wedding, this is my goal. And so that they have that goal, they reach the goal, and then afterwards they go back to the way it was because it wasn't a lifestyle change. So that's where I say go back to asking yourself, what is this good for? Is this toxic, or is this a nutritious meal I'm going to have? And if it's not nutritious, why am I having it? There could be hidden emotional issues around food as well. So you could follow the diet really well, but if we don't deal with that, that's always going to be underlying. So we have to think of mind, body, of when we apply our
And
food.
from what I'm hearing you say, it's one thing to detox your bodies, and it's quite another thing to make sure you're not putting unwanted stuff in your body that will increase the toxicity in the first place.
Exactly. So we don't want to put it in our body, and we don't even want to put it on our body. So when we follow a detox,
tell us a little bit about the lotions and creams that people slather on their bodies. What does it do?
So then again, that's a great detoxification. Look at all your products, and if you don't know what's in it, again, if you can't pronounce
What
it.
is good to use and what is not good to put on your skin?
Well, anything that's from chemicals is not good, and the beauty industry is not regulated. So you could have toxins in the shampoos, the creams we use, what we clean the house with, makeups, everything. Talcum powder could be all very toxic. So now we're putting it on our largest organ for absorption and elimination.
And the skin does absorb everything from fat to toxins. Yeah.
So it's transdermal. There's a lot of medicines now that we put patches on transdermally.
Yeah.
So we want it to be organic, or at least 70% organic. And again, call the company, find out what it's derived from, because that will lead to hormonal issues, thyroid issues, and weight issues when it's toxic.
Yeah. So when a person goes on some kind of a diet or a detox regimen, do they have to supplement with vitamins and other things or minerals?
Again, if one is deficient in it, then yes. So, highly suggest finding out, am I deficient in something? Because if you're deficient in something, or even your bacteria, your good bacteria is not high enough, one could have weight management issues. So then getting a quality probiotic, one that's refrigerated, you buy it refrigerated.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy dead bacteria. So we have to look at all quality supplements, and even a lot of supplements from certain, very famous stores are toxic. So we have to look at that as well. But supplementation may very well be needed depending on your lifestyle. And antioxidants, detoxification, enzymes, probiotics, it really all depends on the individual. But it's very hard to get everything from our food nowadays.
Yeah, because we have these delicious looking berries in the store, but when you take it home, even though you rinse it off, you're not sure how much of the pesticide residue is still there.
Right, so if it's not organic, it's going to have pesticides, but it was grown in soil with pesticides. The seed is not organic, so it's from the core, it's no good. Lots of people say, well, the dirty dozen, but these you could buy non-organic. Makes no sense because the soil is full of toxins from pesticides. The seed, we have no idea how it was grown. So it should all be organic. And
everything organic, no pesticides, avoid all chemicals that can seep through your skin or your food, right, into your system.
And what we breathe in, When we clean our house, we're breathing in toxins. So we want to look for the products that are green.
So even cleaners have to be
100%. There's a study that linked breast cancer to the women that were around the cleaning, either in their own house, even if they didn't clean and someone else cleaned, they were breathing it. So you always want to open the windows, but you want to choose the products that don't just say green, but you could read the ingredients and see that, oh, okay, this is lavender. Oh, okay, this is basil, this is lemon, this is vinegar. You have to understand the ingredients as well, because that's for our lungs and our skin.
Oh, yes. I'm thinking of all the chemicals that can come in, you know, from factories, just through the winds and the breezes, right?
Exactly, and that could go on our food.
And that goes on our food and into our bodies.
Right, pollution.
So at home, how do we keep the cleaners and even perfumes, I think?
Right, well,
I'm very allergic to most perfumes.
Right, you could have a chemical sensitivity. So perfumes, hairsprays, all of that, you know, they're really not needed. But
if you're clean, then you don't have to cover up with perfumes.
Exactly.
So try to be basically clean and not have to.
Right, and then choose products like deodorants that are healthy products, organic products, and there are so many out there. You just have to research it. So again, you want to look at what you're using at home, your personal products and your house products, and what you're using to clean your laundry. Because think about it, you took a shower or a bath and you're going to wrap yourself in a towel that's full of chemicals. Put on clothes full of chemicals. Well, we're absorbing it. And little kids are absorbing it. So we have to really, you know, look at everything. Where could toxicity seep in?
I was afraid that your regimen might be difficult to follow, but then it seems quite simple enough, right? Hydrating and taking some lemon with some apple cider vinegar, and then changing the diet a little bit, watching what you eat, keeping the cleaners and your air free of unwanted chemicals that can harm you. And I guess some of these teas that you mentioned, I think that would be easy enough to incorporate and build into your lifestyle, I guess. Thank you very much, Nancy. I think that was a wonderful advice, coming especially from a person who is practicing this. And I hope you can come back and talk about various other topics in the field of health and fitness. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. And until next time, goodbye.